This is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020, meeting of the Berlin Board of Health. As a preliminary matter, please note that this meeting is being recorded and some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. My name's Paul McKelk, Chair of the Board of Health. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to calling the meeting to order. Sue Regera.
Here.
Bob Wheeler.
Present.
Okay, we'll wait for Bill. And Leanne Leahy is assisting today's meeting.
Here.
And we have, and I apologize, I've forgotten the name of the fellow from Whitman.
I show Jack Maloney of
Jack
Ducharme and
Maloney.
Dillis in attendance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll call this meeting to order at 7:02 on August 18th, 2020. This open meeting of the Berlin Board of Health is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth, due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Berlin website at www.townofberlin.com. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, provided reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. While no in-person attendance of members of the public is permitted, every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. The standard public comment of this portion will accommodate limited public comment. For this meeting, the Berlin Board of Health is convening using the Zoom platform as posted on the agenda, identifying how the public may join. Meeting materials. The public is encouraged to follow along during the meeting using the posted agenda unless I know it otherwise. Supporting materials that are available this evening to members of the board can be made available to the public by request. Meeting business ground rules. We'll now turn to the first item on the agenda, but before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda, and after they conclude their remarks, I will invite each member by name to provide any comment, question, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Board members and speakers on the agenda, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If you wish to engage in conversation with each other, please do so through me, taking care to identify yourself. To the extent that our technical capability allows, public comment will be permitted during the public comment portion of this meeting as follows. Attendees' phones and other devices will be muted until they raise their hand, quote unquote, and are recognized by me to speak. I ask each member of the public who wishes to speak to identify their names, and I will afford each speaker time to ask a question or make a brief comment. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Evening, Bill.
How you doing, Paul?
Good.
Wait.
Why don't we start with you, Bill? What do you have?
Not a lot.
Good.
In the audience, I think we have lot 7 Sawyer Hill Road. Engineer Jack Maloney, new lot, part of the Plastridge subdivision.
Okay.
Do you want me to promote Mr. Maloney to panelist?
Yes.
There. How's everyone doing?
Doing fine.
Good, you, Jack?
Not too bad, Bill. Thank you. Do you want me to go ahead? We all set?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know the easiest way. Jack, can you share the plan, or Sue? I know it was emailed to whatever's, if that's possible, to put it on the.
Emailed the plan to everyone. Well, I didn't email it to Jack since he already had it, but I sent it to Paul and Bob.
Yeah, I got it.
I have it also.
Okay,
You want me to share the screen?
Yeah, I mean, if you can, I mean, we can describe it as a proposed new lot, a Presby bed, and the only variance being requested is well to property line. And Jack, you might describe that it's to a property line within the project.
I'm going to switch out this PDF drawing to a CAD drawing. Can you all see that?
I've lost visual. Bear with me.
just click on your little blue screen down at the bottom.
I don't have a little blue screen down at the bottom. I'm at, maybe.
A little blue camera.
Bear with me.
Take
No
your time.
problem. What would the offset, I mean, what would the variance for the well be, Jack?
There's two of them. There's one to a property line and one to a wetland. So can you see this
Oh.
area right here?
Yes, yeah.
We have 26 feet to this property line, and then we have 53.7 to the closest part of this wetland.
Mhm.
Have any of you been out to this site at all?
I've driven in the road. I haven't been to the site, no.
Okay, so Sawyer Hill Road's out here. You drive into the driveway where my cursor is.
Mhm.
You come down to the bottom of the first depression here, and then you have the detention basin on your right-hand side.
Yep.
And then you come all the way up, oops. Come all the way up to the top where the curve is. This is the high point. And then you come all the way down to the bottom, and then there's a turnaround down here. It's this lot right here.
Yep.
Lot 2, Tim Rossini's, was built a couple years ago. His lot is in here where my cursor is.
Mhm.
But his property comes all the way down through that basin and out. His frontage is actually down here on Sawyer Hill.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
So the variance that we're looking for is 26 feet to his property line, but his house is already built and there's no chance of having anything else in this area here, another house or any other structure or anything like that.
Yep.
From this property line to hit the other side of his property line is 100 feet. And then you have another 15 or 18 feet or so to the actual edge of pavement on that common driveway.
Sure.
So I was out here this morning with a potential owner. We looked at this area. This is there's a kind of a ledge outcrop right on this point here. And
Mhm.
we're about 15 feet higher than where the actual wetland area is down below, where wetland flag 29 and 30 and 28 are.
Okay. Yep.
So we're well above it. Given the configuration of this lot and the soil testing that we had out there, we have this highlighted circle is a 100-foot radius, and then we have a 150-foot radius after that. So we keep the 150-foot radius by putting that well over in this area here. Again, it's protected. There's going to be no development near that area. The other lot that would come into somewhat of a play is that one that's being built out in the front, which is lot 6. And we are, as you can see, that's the 150-foot radius, which is well away from where they are, plus uphill.
Has the chairman picked this up? I don't want to go too far without him.
Well, I just heard the words somewhat in play, and I'd like clarification of what that means.
Well, for lot 6, from the well location on lot 7 to the closest part of the septic system, which would be the reserve area on lot 6, you're talking 368.5 feet away. So that would be the only other lot that would be coming close to this proposed well location besides the one that's on the same lot, which we are 150 feet away from.
The distances you're talking about exceed what we normally require, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Lot 1 was bought by the Bergens back when this subdivision was approved, and that, to my knowledge, is not going to have any intent on being built at this time. They used it for a buffer to their property, which is on the other side. But even that system, when we designed it in the well, that's far enough away from lot 7's. So
Let me rephrase what you just said to make sure I'm clear. The lot the Bergens bought, you've done design work for already?
well, we've done, you can see right up here in the left side here, we've got a house sketched, a well area and a septic area up in here
Okay.
with, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, bear with me because I'm used to dealing with hard copy, large plans, and I'm a little slow with this. Using a magnifier, okay?
That's all right.
Can you go back to the other one, which you can read?
That
You
one?
know, you said the Bergens at this time have no intent in building, and that's probably true. But the question I have is, what happens if that changes and there is an intent to build? How does that impact anything here?
Nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing. I just wanted to show you either side of the lot that we're working on, that basically the well location that we have chosen has no effect on either of those lots, or either of those lots have no effect on the well location that we have.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you. All right.
Could I ask?
Yeah, Bobby, go ahead.
The only other thing I see, Jack, is the tank offset. Is that a slab cellar or is that a concrete basement?
So I had put 2 variances on the plan, and one of them was the foundation to a septic tank and the foundation to the leaching field. Both the elevation of the tank and the field are below the basement floor elevation. So Bill and I had a discussion about that. It'll be a walkout on that end, and there could be a chance for plumbing in the basement. So we kept everything below that. It's gravity fed. So with those distances, with those elevations being lower than the basement floor, we could actually tuck those tanks up to Title V offsets.
Right. But it'd be considered almost a slab, Billy, being at below basement level?
It would be, once the component elevations are below or at the basement floor, you would treat it as a slab, even though it shows as a foundation.
Right, right. Okay.
Slab, so technically, as Jack said, you could be 10 feet with tank and 10 feet with system.
Yeah.
We're gonna tweak this a little bit and maintain 10 plus on the tank. And we're actually gonna go, I think, 20 plus on the leaching area.
Yeah. It said 11 something on the tank, which if
It's-
it's a
yeah.
slab, that's okay. Yep.
I typically put, it says on the plan, 11 feet, 10-foot minimum. And then from the closest edge of the basement floor to the edge of the Presby sand, I have 21.7 feet. So,
Mhm.
which would be a 20-foot minimum, or like Bill said, because we're below it, we could actually get a little bit closer.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bill, your comments on this, please.
I owe Jack some comments on this review. I didn't get to him today, but again, those variances up above with the offset to foundation really aren't variances because we're going to treat that as a slab.
Yep.
The well offset to property line doesn't appear to be an issue because we're not impacting the abutting lot. It's part of the layout of the project. And the only question I have for Jack is, has conservation approved well location within that buffer zone?
Not yet. We wanted to get through this meeting first. I've got all the paperwork ready to go. I just got the certified list of abutters emailed to me today. So I will be putting that together for them.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
if I didn't get the variances tonight, then there was no sense in going through
Yeah.
to them.
I think in the past, I think Mike Sawyer's lot on South Street, I think the board, approved a well right at that 25-foot no-touch zone. This is further than that. What do you say, Jack? 50?
It's 53.7 on the plan.
3.7, and you said 10-foot plus elevation change above?
It's about 15 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the concern is inundation of that wellhead, which obviously with that much elevation difference, not really a concern.
Yeah, that's not an issue. No.
No. And you've given, excuse me.
I was just gonna say, normally I think the Conservation Commission has viewed, a well installation within the buffer zone as kind of a one-time disturbance. Once it's there and installed, that's pretty much it. So, they have allowed them in the past, and the board has allowed that variance in the past.
And as he said, that's much higher. That well location is much higher than where the wetland stands, right, Billy? It drops right off after that, right? I mean,
Well, Jack indicated 15-foot drop. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So
So
that's,
Correct me if I'm wrong, do I understand that the drilling would actually take place on lack of a better word, a ledge nub or outcropping that overlooks the wetland?
Yeah. If you can see where my cursor is on this plan,
Yep.
this contour right in here is roughly an outcropping that's right at that top of that slope.
Okay.
mhm.
And I can show Bill, I think we're going to be out there next week anyway, but like I said, I was out there this morning and I flagged that well location for the owner so he could take a look at it with Skillings, who's going to be hired to do the drilling. So we're going to have that survey pinpointed right in for drilling, but for the heck of it, we just walked it today and I gave him an approximate location of it. And it's right at, like I said, right at the top of the hill before you head down to the wetlands.
Okay, Bobby, any additional comments?
No, I'm fine with it. I think it looks good. It looks like a good deal.
Sue?
I'm good.
I would have to concur. Considering the distances and the height elevation, I don't have an issue with this.
Nope.
Obviously, we would defer to Concom at this point, but
Ye-
as far as the Board of Health is concerned, we are okay with it.
Yeah, Paul, that's always a condition when they do pull the well permit that
Right.
Conservation Commission approval is required prior to drilling. Normally, they receive that before they even submit the application to drill.
Okay.
Yep, and like I said, we're on the verge of filing. I'll have all the paperwork ready to go in the next couple of days to get it into the Berlin Conservation Commission.
So this, are we gonna have a variance hearing or we don't need one, Billy, or?
On a well variance, a hearing is not required. It's in
Right.
septic regs,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And again, the septic regs listed on the plan aren't really variances based on the treating that foundation floor as a slab.
Well, I make a motion that we vote with, in concurrence with conservation, of course. What do you say, Paul?
Do I hear a second a second to the motion approving of the
Yeah.
proposed plan, please?
Yes.
I'll second the motion to.
All right,
approve
all
the
in
permit.
favor? Bobby,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
Paul, I also. Okay.
So can I sign that septic permit for the board? And I will qualify the well permit that conservation must approve prior to drilling.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be in touch on comments.
Sounds good, Bill. Thank you. Reach cell phone tomorrow.
You got it.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
You too. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
What do you have next, Bill?
I did respond to 2 mass complaints today in town. One was a first, so again, it was kind of an educational visit. Oddly enough, they knew I was coming. They weren't surprised, and they had already been told by the owner of the property that they had received a complaint. So again, we'll wait and see. And I did a second trip to a complaint that we had a few months back. So, I stressed to them, third time means enforcement, fines, etc. So, the manager was cordial, understood the issue. The minute I go through the door, they automatically know I am there. They had they knew of the violation, let's say, and they claimed to do their best. I told them if they have problems with enforcement, feel free to call the local police department.
The Board of Health did receive an email, an anonymous email, and I have to ask the question, is an anonymous email possible? Isn't there an address attached to an anonymous?
It was,
Is this
it
River
was a
Road?
letter.
What, Sue?
It was a letter
Right.
that I had to scan in so that we could all see it.
Yeah.
It was not an email. It was a letter.
Yes.
Oh, it was a written letter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Signed,
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Okay, okay.
signed concerned citizen.
Yeah, so that we could all see it.
Yep.
Now, was this a mask type complaint?
Yes, it was a mask complaint. I went and talked to the establishment and let them know that even though it was anonymous, that, they need to pay attention because they're being watched.
Okay, then that was probably the establishment I visited today because they were well aware of your notice, we'll say.
Oh, Bobby, what?
I'm trying to turn my thing up again.
Oh.
I kept blurting in when I'd speak. It was kind of anonymous though, because it said concerned citizen, not a name or an address. So,
Right, that's anonymous, yep.
yeah.
Now, in theory, complaints should really come through with a complainant. Lancaster, Bolton, maybe Berlin should start. We have an actual complaint form that has to be filled out, dated and signed. So we have someone to respond to. Even though we don't necessarily have to respond to anonymous complaints, we do.
Right.
It's our duty to at least look into them. So again, we'll just keep listening for voicemails or emails.
Can we Do Lancaster or Bolton have a complaint form?
We do. I got it to Bolton when we had this issue, and I'd be happy to get it to you. And
I would like to plagiarize it if we
Yep.
could.
we just modify the heading. That's it. So I will get you a copy.
All right, that'd be great. And I signed and copied those 2 letters for you. They're on the desk.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow or Thursday at the latest, and we'll get those out. As far as I know, the 104 Crosby went out certified, so we're waiting for that green card.
That's to the installer?
Yep.
Yep.
Boy, they got that place is growing, huh, Bill?
What's that?
The 104 Crosby?
Growing in what way?
The house itself, are we talking about the,
That's not 104, Bobby.
oh, I'm sorry.
You're
was talking
talking
about
about the one, you're talking about the house with the pond.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't recall the address, but 104 is Davis.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Oh, the pond, that's 200 Crosby. Builder contacted me today. They're getting their installer license through Neshoba, and they hope to start the septic soon. I haven't been by there in a while. You know, the last time I was there, it was pretty much knocked down, but nothing new, so it's probably changed a lot.
Oh, it has changed a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. They got the old building completely gutted, you know, the old boards, big wide pine boards on the front,
Yep.
you know, all exposed, but there's a big addition over the back where the old addition was.
Yep.
Pretty good size.
As an aside that has nothing to do with anything, I drove through my old neighborhood in Boylston today and almost didn't recognize it. And the last time I had been there was less than a year ago. And they grow houses faster than they grow trees these days. It was mind blowing to me.
Really? Yeah,
Oh, unbelievable.
no kidding.
Anyway, what else do you have, Bill?
Again, on that vehicle order that we sent that was not
Yes.
complied with, the police department has sent a separate order regarding the local bylaw. Again, we'll see if we get a response from that. And I will draft a letter to the owner, expressing our concerns about the living conditions inside the home, to see if they will allow us in for an inspection. I think we need to take that step before we, pursue a search warrant.
Did have a brief conversation with the representative from Montechusett Elder Affairs concerning that. And we're both kind of on the same page. Nothing new, just touching bases.
Okay. Well, I may go that route. I also learned more about free-range chickens that I ever really needed to know. We had an issue where a dog got loose and killed some chickens, which obviously dog owner has an issue there, but also a concern of abutters that these chickens are free-ranging off of the lot of the person that owns them. And I did speak to the Farm Bureau, and they made it clear that there are fence in states and fence out states. Out in the western part of the country, animals, livestock, etc., are allowed to roam freely. And if you don't want them on the property, you put up a fence to keep them out. Come to the East Coast, where a fence in state. If you have livestock, pets, dogs, whatever, fence the land to keep those animals on your own property. So I had a discussion with the owner, gave her the number of the Farm Bureau, and told her I wanted to hear back about the plans to fence in her free-range chickens. You know, we can get further involved, but I'm hoping that just that discussion is enough to make it happen.
Yeah, there are more important things going on for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I got to say, the Farm Bureau was quite helpful.
Good.
good.
Anything else, Bill?
No, we have no Title V's tonight.
Okay, I do, in looking at one of the letters I signed, I wondered if you could just speak a little bit to the 312 South Street, Title V.
Yes. That a lot of that's been occurring over the phone, but again, we have to put it in print. The latest report we got it says groundwater was 8 feet, and we have documentation that it's 3 to 4 feet on that lot. So we're asking for a clarification on where the bottom of that system lies in relation to that shallow groundwater. A previous board reviewed the same situation back in, I think it was 2011, 2012. And, they got a written response and accepted it. But I said, this lot is that tight that, we're going to ask that question each time we see a Title V on it. So I've emailed the inspector all the information we have, the previous letters, the soil testing information, and we would expect to see a written response and a revised Title V on that property.
When was the last one? 2000
It
what?
was like 11. It came in 11, like November, December, and the board issued a letter in 2012 and did get a response and did accept it.
Okay.
Is that one that's being sold, Bill? Is that what's?
Yeah, it is. That's why the pressure's on. Yep, there's a closing set.
And that was a smaller house they added on to before? It was?
Yeah, I think there was some pretty major renovations done originally. Upon phone discussion with the inspector, he feels confident that the system is not in the groundwater table as the previous inspector had determined. But again, we just need that in writing from him.
Yep, okay.
Okay. And is that it on your end, Bill?
That is it so far. Yeah, tonight.
Wow. Almost like summertime.
Yeah, can't guarantee that in the future, but
No. No.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
yep.
Uh,
And Sue, did you receive revised plans on Pollard Road?
took one of those.
The engineer contacted me today. I think there's some redesigns coming in on that lot 1 and 2 that we saw last meeting. So hopefully we'll have some new information for the, I think it's the September 1st continuance of that hearing.
Yeah,
Bob?
I think it came in about a half hour ago. I'll make sure it's on the Board of Health computer.
I guess,
Yeah, I think-
Bobby, you were gonna bring up Pollard Road, and that was on my mind as well.
Yeah, that's all.
That hearing is continued to September 1st, I believe. I guess my current feeling, and this is certainly to be discussed openly with principals in attendance September 1st, but right now, my thinking is we have a set of regulations on the books. And that's what the regulations are.
Yeah.
We're talking about changing them, but that's all that we're doing about it.
That's right.
There have been no hearings.
No published.
I guess that's all I want to say about it is that
I agree.
to keep it clean, simple, legal, the regs that are on the books are the regs that are on the books.
I agree.
And, we'll have hopefully a little more detailed discussion September 1st, although I'm not sure what it will take to change my mind.
Yeah.
Sue, did you have something? Did you raise your hand, wiggle your finger or something? No?
No,
Okay. Just checking.
I agree.
Go ahead,
When-
Bobby.
The only thing I had anything to do with Lucy called me. She said she'd called you too, Paul, about having them destroy a well for her on her property. And I said, geez, I don't know anything about it. I don't know if you've seen it, Billy, or what kind of deal they've got or what.
Well, I guess it was a kind of a handshake with the builder. Again, it does not show up in any plans. We certainly weren't aware of it. So
Right, so.
there is an abandoned well there, and they agreed to destroy it, all the better.
Right,
Yeah.
right now, I would say that's an agreement between Lucy and Fossil.
Yeah.
That is not in our domain at this moment.
No, that's what I had told Lucy, and I thought you might too. I said that has really nothing to do with us, but depending on a well, we might have to be, now we know about it,
Well,
Bill-
we're not in a position to enforce
Oh, no.
some kind of sidebar agreement, you know. if
No,
it's
no,
not
oh, no.
writing, You know.
I don't mean that. It's just.
No, I
like-
know you don't. I'm just clarifying that, you
Yeah.
know, that's. we
Well,
don't
she
do-
also wanted to know about the quality of her water and quantity now. You know, we take care of one well, what if it changes? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, there are no guarantees, and I believe Bill has communicated that to her.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
That
Good,
would be
good.
up to the homeowner. If they want to get a baseline, do it now.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's great.
Yeah, and when I do get hard copies of those plans, I'll let the board know if they want to take a peek at them and see if the list of variances has been reduced as it was indicated that night.
And
I think they
also-
got some,
Also, Bill, keep an eye out if there's any mention on those plans about that well destruction,
Yeah,
just so we can stay half a step ahead of the deal.
yeah, we don't care.
Well, we do and we don't.
Well,
Yeah,
in
right, you know, it's like,
theory, if there's a well on an abutting property, abandoned or not, it should be shown on the locus. That kind of, that brought up the whole crack heart situation. with
Right,
the-
that should be,
Right.
that part is black and white, right.
So if
that's what
there's
I
a well
thought.
that's abutting that property, we certainly want to see it.
Okay.
It's great.
I've got nothing else relative to, for you, Bill.
No, just that the transfer sticker complaints seem to be slowing down a bit. We're getting
Thank God.
for a week. So that seems to be working itself out. I appreciate your response to those folks.
Somebody said they put a for sale sign on the train stop for 600,000. You can own it.
And I think last meeting we talked about whether or not there was a failed Title V on record. There is, so they are, you know, that clock's ticking. So anyone buying that place, you know, that 2 years has already started to erode, you know, by the, you know.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
Could be a year into that already. So that's just an important heads up to somebody looking to buy that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's not an easy site. The probably 2 or 3 owners ago actually went through the process of soil testing and designing a very elaborate repair system, and the numbers were staggering back then. So, you know, to do something nowadays, it's going to be that much more expensive.
Right. And there's still a shared well, isn't it, too, Billy?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
It's a shared well, and the Tataronis family, that where the well is located on their property, they went through legal channels and shut the water off to the restaurant.
Oh,
Currently, the restaurant has no water.
Well, there's another heads up to a potential buyer.
well,
And
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
almost-
stopped there lately to see if the condensers and so forth are still running. Don't know if Mass Electric is footing the bill on, National Grid is footing the bill on that or not.
that's a shame to lose an establishment, but, you know,
These are tough times.
yeah.
All right, if we have nothing else for Bill, we can cut him loose for this evening.
Free, Bill.
All right, have a good
Yeah.
night, and I'll be in touch, Paul. I know there's a few more letters being drafted. I'll let you know when they're there. All right?
Okay,
All right,
have a
good.
good night.
Oh, walkthrough on the library, Bill?
What's that?
Are you going to be present for that walkthrough on the library?
If the date works with my schedule, yes. I'm not positive of when, but I know the final plan has been released, and I know bid packages are being they're available through Mary at the selectman's office. So,
Oh, yeah. So somebody could answer questions like, or Paul, are you going to be at that?
well, I
Paul?
know you know
Probably, yeah.
Evan will
Okay.
be there, the designer. That's most
Oh.
important.
Yeah, all right.
But I'll certainly try to attend. I'll have to double check that date.
No, I just didn't know, you know, I know, saw a message for the 24th, and I thought that maybe you or Paul, of course, will be there, so he can kind of give them the heads up, I guess. Well, Evan, of course, can too, I suppose.
Correct.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Bill, have a good night.
You too.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right. right, Sue and Bob. Just to briefly revisit transfer station stuff. We really need to, and I don't know if anybody has any feedback yet. We really haven't gotten anything relative to what gets thrown away in the open top and what should be charged. And I'm not talking about the standard stuff on the list. I'm not talking mattresses and all that kind of stuff that we already have a punch list for. I'm talking about wooden play swings and construction debris. I saw somebody getting rid of a shower, a bathroom, half a bathroom in there.
Right.
Charge. And, you know, we're paying for it. I believe BP at their transfer station has gone up to a $65 minimum, no longer 45.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pete told me that. I'm going to verify it, but
Yep.
you know, do,
Yeah, 'cause the
do we just start turning people away and sending them there, or do we come up with some kind of charging system?
Right.
There's no book on this. You know,
No.
there's no guidance.
And we have no way to weigh anything.
No, we can't weigh. There's
Hunger.
going to be judgment involved. We can
Right.
quantify to some degree, but even that's pretty sketchy.
Well,
You know, unless somebody comes in with a pickup truckload that's water level and blah, blah, blah. But, and that's where it gets real sketchy is what
Right.
kind of guidelines, or can we even provide guidelines to Pete and his guys on how to charge?
Mhm. You get a pickup with sideboards on it, or you get one that's got nothing in it. You're right. How do you do a guideline thing? That's hard.
You know, and we would be relying on the judgment of transfer station personnel. And, you know, by doing that, we kind of put them in the squeeze.
Right.
And at the same time, we're throwing away money
Yep.
by not charging.
The side. I gotta say that.
And, you know, I don't expect an overnight epiphany on how we're going to solve this, but
Right.
I encouraged, and I'm going to bet, I'll be willing to bet that neither one of you has gone to the transfer station and looked at the open top in the last 2 or 3 weeks to see the type of material that goes in there. And I encourage you to do that so you know what we're talking about.
I was there. I was there
That's step
Saturday.
one, to know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to know that is by putting your eyes on it.
I did look at it this weekend, Paul, and there was construction debris in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not just
Did it
small,
come
but
from, yeah, did it come from the same person? Yeah,
no, I don't know. Yeah,
yeah, right, exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, this is a conundrum,
Right.
and I'm not sure that there is an answer, but
No.
I guess what I'm saying is we're not doing our job if we don't at least look for one.
Right. Well,
And we
construction
may,
debris.
we may end up just where we are tonight, but we need to kick the tires, you know?
No.
That's
Well,
all.
we had that letter about the box spring, or ask about a box spring from someone that didn't have a sticker. Now, my first thought was, yeah, no, you let one from up there. They're all going to want to. So I was going to say, send them to BP. You know, go down BP and pay that nominal fee. And like you're saying, apparently they've gone up. So
You know, and not the other part, but the other aspect of this is, again, we got to think about recycling stickers.
Yep.
You know, now anybody over at NRP, whatever they call it, the Rockwell, you know, they cannot use the transfer station presently. You
Right.
know, and we do not want them to until we have some kind of policy or program in place. And maybe there's some way that if they wanted to get rid of a box spring, they could use the transfer station, but we're going to have to charge them. And
Yeah,
they're gonna
maybe.
they're going to have to buy a sticker of some kind.
Yeah,
Um,
or
so what
$45.
what I'm asking, and I'm gonna ask it again, and I'm gonna ask it again, I'm gonna keep asking, is to put down any bizarre random thoughts on how this might shake out.
Right.
I have no answers. I have no preconceived notions. So there's no right or wrong. It's like, you know, I know I talked to Sue and
Just try to figure it out.
she'll go to New Hampshire with something, and I don't blame her. You know, that's creative.
Right.
You know, and I don't think it's wrong for people to do that. It's a very difficult disposal world we live in right now.
It is.
However, as a town, we need to have a little more structured policy. I mean, to go along with all the complaints we're dealing with.
Right.
Pete got his backside handed to him with all kinds of swears and epithets within the last week.
Yeah.
The guy has since apologized, but Pete has thrown him out. There were a couple other residents right there, and they felt bad for Pete, and supposedly they're writing letters backing Pete up in terms of what happened. Once I get that information, I'll share it with you guys. But I mean, you know,
There's no need of it, no matter who it is. Right.
there's no need, and you know, we're in strange times with the virus and all that. Everybody,
Right.
a lot of short fuses.
Yeah. But
I don't know. So just keep thinking on it, you know, traveling around. Don't be afraid to ask somebody in another town that question, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we're starting from nothing. So anything we pick up is a
Right.
positive. Any
Well, I think-
information we pick
yeah.
up is a positive.
Bolton, I looked at once. I gave you some information, but I can come up with it again. They had to deal with a pickup load of stuff, Paul. You know,
Who's this, Bobby? I missed
Bolton. They
Bolton.
had a, they showed a pickup truckload and it cost $50 or something to dump it, period. And that's with a sticker, I think. But like you say, I'll have to look at their policy again and see what they do. It might be something, you know.
Hey,
Any of
plagiarism
those.
is the highest level of compliment. So, you know, if Bolton is doing something better, or
If it
Lancaster
works.
or Harvard,
Yep.
I'm all for it, you know?
The
All right,
recycling,
enough said on that.
well, recycling, Paul, I checked with Best Buy again now.
Yeah,
Now, if you buy a TV, you can bring one back. If you don't buy one, it's $25 a pop to bring one in. Now, which they used to take electronics free, but now you have to pay. Unless you buy a TV, they'll exchange it, where they used to take them, you know, now they don't. And as for clothes and stuff, with this COVID thing, a lot of places have shut down.
right, they're not taking them, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot different. But Walmart was going to start taking styrofoam. They started it in Canada. They were going to start it down here and take it for free. That's got all shut down even in Canada since the COVID thing. Of course, you know.
Just as a side, when you mentioned Walmart, they sold a bunch of hand sanitizer that turned out to be no good.
Yeah.
They would not accept returns of it. They said, you got to ship it back to the manufacturer. They would give you a refund, but they wouldn't take the product back.
Yeah, it had methanol in it, but you would think it'd be law, they'd have to take it back, but no kidding.
Yeah.
That's where that came from, huh, Paul? Yeah.
All right. I got nothing else. Anything new from either of you folks?
Nope, I'm gonna go see my mom. She just got out of the hospital.
No. You doing all right?
Yeah, she is, fortunately, Paul. Things weren't as bad as we thought, so it's good. She could swallow.
All right.
Sue, sorry.
Best to your mom, and good luck, Bobby.
Thank
Sue.
you.
A mouse just walked out in front of me and then disappeared into the floor.
Hey,
Where's
what?
Where's that kitty?
A mouse waved at me and went under the cupboard, but the cupboard hits the floor. Where'd it go?
Oh, cupboard. Better than the covers.
Right.
All right, everybody. I have 7:49. We will, do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll second
I'll
that.
make a motion in the meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
All right.
Paul, aye. Meeting is adjourned at 7:49.